Reach for the sky, boy.
What is going on, you Marktards? A-Track Brown. Damn, it's been a while since, any of the boys got together to discuss what is the sport of professional wrestling. This is not WLR, all right? This ain't the Wednesday Night Locker Room. Billy Ray and the boys, Striz and Bello, they not here, all right? This is A-Track Brown, of course. This is the PWHustle. And with me, as always, my broadcast brethren, the most scholarly, the most objective, the most magnanimous, the most effervescent, the most stupendous, and the king of the motherfucking hoopla, and the most glorious man in the IWC, YWC, PWC, XWC, ABCDEFG of the community. Chabela de la Cruz. What is going on, my brother? We've had a crazy ass time since we've been away. There's been shows. There's been people selling their goddamn stocks in WWE. There's been freaking people drinking blood in Illuminati rituals while having matches. There's been a reformed damage control. Everything has been going on since we've been away, and we have to talk about this shit, Q. So let's get into it. What's going on, my brother?
It's been a long time, Track, since you and I have been together for a PWHustle locker room type of show. You do your thing. You're reacting to Low Key. You're reacting to Walking Dead. You're reacting to Frasier. Maybe you're going to react to the Ted prequels like I told you to, but anyway, neither here nor there. But yeah, for the world of wrestling, I do the PWR. I'm on the nostalgic train. I do all that. I go to the past. I haven't really talked about the present. And speaking of drinking blood, I do make some kind of like controversial statements on the PWHustle Facebook fan page. And I said one thing, and I think it's kind of controversial, but it does merit a discussion. One company could have had a TV deal for the CW network, but after 200 pay-per-view buys, it was canceled because of a cocaine spot. Another company, I will not say those three letters. You figure it out, Hustleites. This company has a TV deal. They got a cable deal. They're going to have a streaming deal. They probably going to get 150,000 pay-per-view buys. So that means a lot of people have watched this. But A-Track Brown said it. There was an Illuminati drinking blood segment. Tony Khan is on Epstein's is on the Epstein fly list. Allin Page is on the Epstein fly list. It is proof positive with that scenario right there. Swerve Strickland, I'm sorry, Culture, but he had to sell out because he would have gone hanged. He would have got really hanged for real. But anyway, Track, the statement I made was, how can one offset the other? It just doesn't make no sense. How can cocaine be bad, but drinking blood is good? Please. Enlighten the hustleites. Enlighten them.
See, you can't say the quiet part out loud. You know what I'm saying? The cocaine and drinking the blood. That you see, the drinking the blood is what's gonna get them the new deal. You understand? They had to fuck the goat in order to get the new deal. So what they had Hangman, White Adam Page up against Swerve Strickland. And they was like, all right, this is the spot where we're going to fuck the GOAT. All right, we want this WBD money. We need to make sure we do what we got to do. It's not enough. See, Tony was smart. He sniffs his cocaine off camera. He knows how to play the game. He knows how to play the game. You see, you keep the drugs and shit off camera, but the blood sacrifices, you have to let them know that shit down. So you got to put that on display. You can't have people doing drugs and shit like that, but the blood drinking, and so close to Saturnalia, with Thanksgiving being right around the corner, when the Pilgrims was taking the heads off the Indians and using them for football, hence Thursday night football. You know what I'm saying? So that's all that was. You see, right now, the wrestling culture.
Wait a minute. Is Hangman Page a paganist? Are you saying this? Is he a paganist?
I'm not saying anything. All I'm saying is I saw a dude drinking blood, and I said, "What the hell?" And then I saw a dude get revenge for the ancestors, and I was feeling all right. I'm telling you, the wrestling culture right now
it balances out.
At a high.
It balances out. Yes, I get you.
It balances out. We're on a high. We're on a high right now. There's speculation of the return of CM Punk next week. You know, there was speculation of who was gonna be the big signee this past Saturday at Full Gear. You know, Ronda Rousey made an appearance at ROH. You know, Vince McMahon may be completely gone now. He's selling off his shares and whatnot. So what's been going on in the past few weeks in the world of wrestling since you and I have been going, Q? Let's get into it. We had the pay-per-view last night, so let's just start off with that. We ain't gonna go to a full rundown, you know what I'm saying? Because we got so much shit to talk about, but I do want to talk about the fucking pay-per-view last night. It was a very fun show, and I have to say that, you know, if I couldn't. There was certain things about, you know, that went on in certain matches where I was like, what the hell? What is this? This doesn't make any sense. The whole Adam Cole, I'm gonna fight for MJF. I got it. I understood what was going on, but what the hell was going on with MJF that was worse than this motherfucker's ankle for him to just go out there and everybody holding back MJF, but Adam Cole could just go out. What the fuck was that?
Apparently, you know, this was a big discussion point for the IWC, YWC, PWC pundits track, because logic ran out the window. If Adam Cole was willing to substitute for MJF in the heavyweight title situation, then why didn't Adam Cole crutch his way out to defend the ROH title?
Exactly.
But remember, like you said, let the story play out, because there was a story, and that was Samoa Joe. He made a deal with the devil, which I have no problem with. It's just the semantics. Now, we can talk about the pay-per-view in all its totality if you want, but I'll just say this. There were certain problems I had with the pay-per-view, and the one problem I had was placement. How the hell could you how can Tony Khan, maybe, because you talked about it, you elaborated the cocaine. He does it privately, he doesn't do it publicly. But how can Tony Khan, he must have some good coke, but he's just said the Tony Storm AEW women's title match was less important than the TBS title match. That's one problem I had. Second problem I had is, when the hell did we determine that the Young Bucks match against the Golden Jets deserved the semi-main event spot one match before the MJF match? Did the Young Bucks sacrifice saying, we will, because of the Texas Death Match, we will know that the crowd is going to be a little bit like, the energy's gone, we'll take the hit?
I was about to say they needed to do that.
Or are they so egomaniacal because they're the hometown, you know, heroes? We could get the crowd back. So I'm going to go with the egomaniacal, narcissistic point of view that the Young Bucks have done.
Yes. That's easy.
Because they didn't deserve that slot. I'm sorry, they didn't deserve. You could have put Tony Storm there, because that would have been a funny kind of different situation with the black and white scenario. It could, you know, the comedy kind of sketch with the way Tony Storm did it. That was actually a perfect placement for that match. Neither here nor there. I'm just saying, certain people who did, you know, to pick the people who won the women's matches. I'm okay with Julia Hart being the new TBS champion. I'm okay with Tony Storm being the 3-time champion. I was a little bit like perplexed with the way the tag team 4-way ladder match went, but that's just me. And like you said, the MJF Adam Cole thing, I think as much as I like MJF, again, I'm going to make another controversial statement, Hustle, but you know the professor. It's me against the world. I don't mind. But MJF, you know, I said this on the Facebook fan page, and y'all Hustleites were a little bit quiet because you know there's a little bit of truth there. And Track might be a little bit quiet too, but I heard for many years, many rants, Super Cena is very bad. But my God, Super MJF is very good. That's great storytelling. My man, Super MJF, and I love MJF. Don't get me wrong, Track. He overcame a sprained neck against Samoa Joe. He overcame a sprained knee against the Bullet Club Gold. But Super MJF, that's great storytelling. But Super Cena is just bad. I'm sorry. You know, you got to be fair.
They didn't have MJF take 10 people by himself. That's one thing. They didn't have this nigga go through a freaking a stunt light and still win the fucking match. But no, what I had an issue with Toni Storm winning the title because other than her first title reign, which was almost a year, but nobody really cares or remembered it like that. Hikaru Shida just can't seem to really hold this title. She can't. You know, like I said, she had the first one, which was for like a year or whatever. But after that, it's like it's like she was in the transitional role. You know what I'm saying? And I felt that, you know, it's kind of like a lot of fair criticisms that come on AEW. And one of them being how they cram so much and they do things a little bit too fast. Now, I get that the Toni Storm character has it skyrocketed. You know, it was kind of like an overnight success, if you want to say that. Even though she had a slow build into madness. You know, she playing the Sunset Boulevard type character. And a lot of people kept saying Marilyn Monroe, and I was like, no, this is Sunset Boulevard. You know, I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. Demiu, and all of that stuff. And they even found a spot for Luther that I felt Dustin should have been in. I'm like, that should have been his spot. He should have been like Silver Dust. He should be the director. I think they should add more to this character or add Broken Matt Hardy to it. That'll fucking make it even more crazy. But I felt that they should have waited. I was sitting here like, all right, don't have Toni Storm win this. Hikaru Shida just got the title. Don't take it off her this fast. Let this play out. Let something go on when then she challenges her again. Like was it like take two? You know, it was like take one. I lost that match, but now it's take two or something like that. That's how I felt. I felt they should have stretched that out a little bit. But nonetheless, I got it because she's hot right now, and you want to put the title on her. But I just felt Hikaru should have had a longer reign. The MJF match, you could say that. Like, here's what I'm seeing that's not making any fucking sense, and this is how I know for a fact that this is like copium or some shit like that. Not even copium. This is a way to try to just diminish the match in general. You have people saying Jay White couldn't beat an injured MJF with all those people helping him and this, that, and the third. And I'm sitting here like, so we're going to ignore the fact that this nigga was pretty much cheating too, that he was being our scumbag. He won the match after hitting Jay White with the freaking diamond ring. You know what I'm saying? So I was against this match only because I knew Jay White was going to lose. And I felt that you could have threw someone else at MJF other than Jay White because I do want Jay White to win that AEW title.
Wait, can I ask you a question, Track? Because, you know, for people like you, and shout outs to people like Cordell Mitchell, you know, New Japan brethren, you know where I'm going to go with this. But I think that I'm not going to say there's a little bit of bias with what you're saying, but I know that you saw the successes with Jay White in New Japan. He sold out Madison Square Garden for the G1 Supercard. You see the successes for Will Ospreay and what he's done and build his character, but via New Japan. Now again, now they're coming here more and to be more exclusive to AEW. Do you just want to see them succeed in that light because they deserve it, or again, this is a different beast. This is a different audience. That's still a minute, you know, number of people who saw them in New Japan and in the Tokyo Dome and all that stuff. To be fair, I'm just being fair here.
No, I understand what you're saying.
But you want to see them succeed. And again, for the American audience, We can't defer the fact that not enough American audiences saw Wrestle Kingdom and saw Jay White in his full Bullet Club totality. Not a lot of people have seen Will Ospreay. They've seen sprinkles of what Will Ospreay has done on AEW television, but I think Will Ospreay will be okay, but that's a different story. But I'm just saying, maybe that's why you wanted him to be the AEW champion. It seems better that Samoa Joe should be the next in line to take it.
And with what Samoa Joe did, I said to myself, yeah, he's taking that title off MJF. At least that's the feeling that I have. Have him just dropping the TV title like that. And my thing is, it's not that I do want Jay White to be champ. I'm just saying that I didn't want him to have this title match so quickly. I didn't want them to use him in this spot to feed him to MJF as his next opponent, because I just felt that with somebody like Jay White, you want to build this guy up a little bit more, and you don't just want to take the former IWGP champion and just toss him in the feud with MJF right away and have him be his next challenger just to lose. Because you're right that most wrestling fans probably haven't seen Wrestle Kingdom. But we know AEW fans, for the most part, are a different animal, because these are guys who do watch, New Japan and whatnot. They know Jay White. They know Will Ospreay. Maybe not all of them, but I would probably say maybe a good 70% of AEW fans know who these guys are. So for me, it was just, I was just like, hold off. Don't feed somebody else to MJF. Don't have Jay White lose his first title match. But there's so many other people who I don't want to see be put in a spot just to be fed to MJF right now. So it is what it is. Like, I understand. Again, there's no reason for a Jay White not to be champion down the line. All right, yeah, so I can forgive this. I can give this a pass. That's fine. You're doing business. You needed somebody. You wanted a semi big name or a semi or somebody who can give you a good main event, which Jay White definitely did. The match was fucking great.
Unfortunately, Track.
Or awesome, I should say.
Yeah, but unfortunately, not everybody can get a title. As long as the story is good and they look good and the presentation look good, because technically we just saw a Texas death match with no title on the line, but two men were taking it to the next level. Even though the culture won, like you said, in the beautiful
with that Texas.
But Adam Page also won. With people have to recognize what he did in the build up to all that stuff. So Adam Page he's now got a chance to get to the next level, which a lot of people wanted him to take that next level. Now he's got a chance to capitalize on that next level.
Adam Page gets major props for putting Swerve over, because I know for a fact he didn't have to do that. And with the way the story was going, I think most people expected Adam Page to win. This dude broke into his house and all of that shit. When you have that type of story, it's usually the heel loses. So for him to win, and for him to win in that match, I give Adam Page major props. All right, major props. This isn't the blackness taking over like it did while I was watching that match and I was going nuts. This is the wrestling fan in me now saying good job to Adam Page. But we also saw the arrival of what we know for a fact will be most likely the first black AEW champion, a future AEW champion somewhere in 2024. Down that line, I think we are going to have Swerve be champion. But
or if you get the storyline, because remember, before the Adam Page thing, everybody thought he was going to be the international champion, and Orange Cassidy, beat him. So that title is right there for the picking.
I know I did.
That title's right there for the picking.
National champion, yeah, but the next international champion should be MJF. It should be either MJF, excuse me, Jay White. It should be Jay White, or I would say Will Ospreay, but that's too soon and that's way down the line. I don't want Orange Cassidy holding this title for that long. So you either put that title on Jay White or Andrade or some other foreign talent, because we've been saying this for a while. I'm still confused as to what went down with Phoenix and Jon Moxley, who was supposed to have the title or whatever. Jon Moxley didn't need the title. That's I just say that right now. That for him having that didn't mean anything. But for other talent, especially the foreigners that you have, put that on there. Orange Cassidy, I don't want to hate Orange Cassidy And I don't want this dude to get on my nerves, but Tony has to cut the umbilical cord now. Like, dude, I get that you like this man, but he's not moving the needle for you exactly like that. But I get it because he's a talent that the AEW fans truly like. He's truly over with these people. You know, a lot of the viewers may not give a shit. You know, some of them may be Cornette influenced. But the bottom line is, I get it. I'm just like, I'm over it almost at this point. Spread that title around. Give that title, have that title mean something. And it's
No,
you know, I gave them the 4-year pass.
right.
That
I get
4-year
where you,
pass is over.
I get where you're going, but like you said, Trek, a couple of minutes earlier, it's just Tony Khan just crams in a lot of stuff. So while you're right, you know, people like Andrade, people like Jay White, maybe even Will Ospreay in 2024 could be the international champion and kind of keep it themed like that international wrestlers that they have in AEW should be vying for that title. What is going on right now? The Continental Classic or the ROH G1 that Tony Khan wants to create for himself and his pleasure, and because he doesn't want Bryan Danielson to do the 2024 G1, you know, in Tokyo for some strange reason. I thought that was a no-brainer, but this is his consolation. I'm not gonna let you fight in the Japan G1, but I'll create my own G1 just so you can, I don't know, win it, but just be in it.
With Wembley next year, you don't want to put Bryan Danielson in the G1. You don't, because Wembley's going to be in August. The G1 runs through August. You do not want Bryan Danielson to get hurt and you not have your match.
He could get hurt in a Dynamite.
Yeah, but it's a big difference. But even if that, the G1 runs through August. So it's too much to have him in the G1 and have him fly into Wembley to face Will Ospreay. Go back and do it. No. I don't. And he's already going to be He's already going to be in this tournament, which already freaking makes me nervous. There is a part of me, I don't want to put this in the air, but I'm gonna fucking say it. There's a part of me that gets scared that him versus Okada might not happen because he might get injured again. So I get nervous whenever Daniel Bryan is getting in the ring. But the bright side is that he's not going to be out like we thought he was, so he'll be back. Let's just hope that he plays it safe, you know. And speaking of Andrade, you know, you watched Rush and Mystico last night in that ladder match, which was a cool ladder match. I dug the hell out of it, but I kept asking this question, which is, why the fuck is Andrade not with Los Ingobernables Faction? They brought Rush into this when he was there, and I understand the suspension happened and all of that. But right now, you know, you lost Dragon Lee. If I'm not mistaken, Bandito was still injured, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, build this faction. It's there. Unless somebody hit me with something that is possible, Andrade might be gone after his contract is up. He might go back to WWE. So that could be a reason as to why he's not locked into this faction just yet or at all. But I don't want to hear that shit. Some things writes itself. Like when they were saying that Triple H was gonna put Oscar and Kairi Sane and Io Shirai together in a faction, I'm like, yeah, it's typical Triple H, you know. He can't help but put racists together. He can't help but do prison style booking. The Asians are with the Asians.
Wait a minute, come on! I'm not gonna be a Triple H shield, but wait a minute, wait.
Hold on,
No.
Q, hear me out. The Brawling Brutes, the LWO, fucking Lashley and the Prophets. How many races of people he gonna keep putting together?
Okay, number one, this is not the Attitude Era, Los Boricuas and DOA. No, that was racist. Wait, hold on.
That's exactly what's happening.
Hold on. This is the same YWC that's been clamoring for WWE to at least recognize a little bit of wrestling history. Oh, wait a minute. Triple H, we have the Kabuki Warriors and Lucha Underground. Put them together. We want this. He gives it to you, and now we're going, oh, we're playing the racial card here. What is this? I'm
saying it lacks creativity on that end, but I was going to say, even though I made fun of that, that writes itself. It's a no-brainer. You got to kind of put all those three into a faction together. And I like that he didn't just put those three, he added them to Damage Control. So, because you don't want all three women in a Japanese some Japanese faction who can't really talk. So I'm glad he added them to Damage Control, making Damage Control much better, especially with Asuka there. So what I think, they should still kick out Bayley and bring somebody in, kick out Bayley and Dakota Kai, but bring somebody in who can be their mouthpiece as well as the fourth member. But with Andrade, it's just that, you know, he is LIJ. That's his thing. He started it. It's like he created that shit. If I'm not mistaken, did he create that? So why is he not a part of that? And the way I feel, you know, there's issues with him backstage. It's obvious they tried to do things with him and things didn't work out. But again, a talent like that, it's almost a no-brainer. Should he be in the title hunt? Yes.
If Andrade had the let's say the Spanish accent like Santos Escobar, where his English is more clearer and more concise, if you hear on TV, Andrade's is a little bit like deep. So it's hard to get that English twang in there. And then he's going to speak Spanish. It's a no-brainer. But if he spoke like Santos Escobar, everything you're saying, I think, and Andrade would be mid-card to upper main event level of storylines in AEW, hands down. But he was already given a handicap. He was being introduced by Vicky Guerrero. He then had Chavo Guerrero. But like I said, if he had the English speakings of Santos Escobar, because he's got a very smoother English accent, you know, Spanish to English accent when he speaks on TV, which people can actually gravitate towards. But Andrade, maybe you're right. Maybe it is a contract thing. Maybe he does want to go back to WWE. Maybe he does feel like, oh, Triple H knew the Andrade character. There's no Vince now. Vince is not going to make him a Mexican. He's not going to make him a Gardner. He's not going to make him a Mexicool, like he said, like that stereotype. He's going to make him a soldier.
They got Ric Flair. So, you know, they were going to put them. It was rumored that they was going to align those two anyway. So what do you do? Just do it.
You can't align Ric Flair without having Charlotte and her contract being up, and that's the only time has to do it.
Nah. I'm talking about you. The AEW needs to align Andrade, and he was going to be his manager. That was the original plan before the helicopter dick story came out, right? So fuck it. You got to keep going with that. So what we got next is what else went on? What went on was, so we spoke about the cocaine spot, right? So let's actually talk about what happened, what the fuck went down here. So Billy Corgan had a deal. Now, I don't know if this deal was worth money because I read he was paying them to be on air or whatever. I'm not exactly sure. But the fact of the matter is, Corgan had his deal. And, you know, whether you were going to watch it or not, the bottom line is this was a good thing for the NWA. And they do this cocaine spot. and the CW goes, so what did you say about NXT? Yeah, those guys. Do they do cocaine? No. Oh, head smashing. Oh, that's not drugs. Okay. So, you know, now the thing that I don't understand why we all know wrestling is this scripted program. No different than the scripted programming like Riverdale. I don't know if anybody's ever really watched Riverdale on the CW. But you know what they have on Riverdale? Cocaine sniffing. There's high school kids fucking. And I'm sitting here like, this is too much? Oh, well, we can't have wrestlers sniffing cocaine, sniffing coke like John Bones. Like, what the fuck? Like, come on. To me, I was just like, I guess gone are the days of, you know, there's no such thing as bad publicity. We're not living in that era no more. We're not in the era where controversy creates cash, I guess, because had I been in the CW, had I been the head of the CW and I saw that, I'm like, hell fucking yeah, we're going to keep going with that. Yes, that's how we going to get the viewers on. I don't give a shit about that.
I find it ironic because the funniest thing is because, like I said, in comparison to the blood, you know, that Adam Page drank, The pay-per-view
they already
buys
got their TV
no,
deal.
no. But the pay-per-view buys is very, very different because again, like I said, AEW's pay-per-view buys is gonna probably be 150,000 range, right? You know how many people saw this goddamn pay-per-view or who paid for it? 200 people paid for it on 5 TV. That's how embarrassing that is. 200 people paid for it. Yes, I know there's cell phones, hustle lights. Yes, I know that, that will go out into the social media realm. It's just funny to me because 200 people paid to see cocaine. And, the CW says, no, 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 no. But 150,000 people paid for it. And then 800 to 900,000 people watching weekly on Dynamite, but blood is good. I just don't get it. Hustle lights. It is just so funny to me. But Billy Corgan, controversies creates cash, as Trax might say, or Eric Bischoff might say. There's a problem with that controversy because Billy Corgan tried to do that in many different instances. He had Tyrus become the NWA heavyweight champion because Tyrus has, an affiliation with Fox News Television, and he was on Fox News nightly with the NWA belt. So Billy Corgan was hoping that with Tyrus being the champion and him being on the #1 cable show every goddamn night, that it was going to draw some attention to the NWA. Did it draw it? I don't know. People still came, but did it draw the revenue? I don't think so because Tyrus was not a revenue grab. So he went to EC3, who is now now he's on his redemption tour because he's not creating his narrative. He's going back to his Impact character, Ethan Carter III. So again,
that's happening. I haven't been paying attention to
look at EC3. He's reverting backwards. He's trying to get away from creating the narrative.
Trouble. That's the EC3 we all like. So
yeah, but he's trying to go that far back, but he's not trying to create that narrative. That's what I'm just saying. But is it going to create the revenue that Billy Corgan seeks? No, it's not going to create that. So again, whether or not, and I'll say this, Track, because we're laughing at the deal that never happened, but you know how WWE plays their game with the TV deals. They negotiate well a year in before their deals are done. So they were shopping NXT to every network that they could find. And the CW is like, you know what? We need something. We need to put 2 hours every Tuesday or Wednesday night, wherever the case may be. So NXT, they're making more money now than the original deal from USA. So it's a no-brainer. And then, we could talk about, where's Raw going to go? I thought with SmackDown going back to USA, I thought SmackDown was going to Amazon Prime. So I'm still going to hold out hope that the professor is right, that one of their shows is going to Amazon Prime. So now I got Raw. Come on, Amazon Prime. Go and grab Raw.
Raw's going to go to
Make
FX.
me right.
Raw's probably going to end up on FX, which I don't understand. Well, one thing, if Raw does end up on FX, you could probably say goodbye to a 3-hour show. So that'll be a good thing. But I don't understand how SmackDown will be on USA, but Raw is leaving USA. Why are they not just having both shows? But I guess they don't. It's probably too expensive to have both shows on at this on the same network or whatever running live. But now here's the thing: the CW is not on cable, so it reaches everyone because it's free. But
and they have an app too. They have
people don't watch the CW no more. And that's the thing. Like the CW used to be a hot spot for youngins, because you had all the superhero shows. You had the Arrowverse, Flash, Arrow, Superman, Supergirl, and Gotham Knights, and you had all these. Yeah, what was it? Legends of Tomorrow. You had all these quirky little shows that people would tune the CW for, but all those shows are gone. And the CW ain't popping like it is. Well, maybe NXT will give them the rejuvenation that they need, or vice versa. They help each other out. I see some ratings going up for the for NXT just for the fact that it's on regular television. But then again, it is NXT, and it's not the same NXT as the Black and Gold brand. So who knows? But you have that there, and I think with Vince McMahon selling his shares, they're moving away from Vince more and more, it seems, and I think Vince is pretty much on his way out. Because why are you selling 8 million shares? What's going on here?
But that selling those 8 million shares, you know how much he banked? $700 million. So in that instance, he can actually buy or create his own company if he chooses, if he wants to be that vindictive and that petty. Like I said, he could buy into NWA. Billy Corgan would take that money.
He's gonna start all over. Vince is gonna start all over. He's like, fuck it. If I can't run my own company, I'm gonna buy a new one and I'll just do it all over again. I'll just do it all over again. And for the next 3 years where he's alive, he'll be running the NWA. I'm pretty sure Billy Corgan would take that money in an instant. But wouldn't it be funny? Because I know for a fact, and I'm playing off something that I heard Ben Hameen say. Tony Khan turned down the CW. They made an offer for ROH, and he turned them down because I guess he was still waiting to see what Warner Brothers Discovery was going to do, which I completely understand. It's a business move. You're not going to just, say, yeah, let me just take this and then piss off Warner Brothers Discovery. You don't want to do that. And I need people to understand something. Warner Brothers Discovery does not own the CW anymore. They used to. They sold that shit a while ago. It's owned by Next Media, whatever. They own 75%. The Warner Brothers Discovery has 12% stake in the CW. They have no controlling say. So NXT being on there is no conflict of interest or anything like that. But what if Tony Khan bought the CW and next thing you know, he owns the rights to NXT? That's not out of the realm of possibility, bro. I don't know how much Next Media paid for the CW, but I'm pretty sure Tony could probably finagle a price and buy that shit himself. It'd be funny if he did that shit. But they still, they're still hoping that they'll get a streaming deal for HBO Max or Max, whatever it's called, so they can abandon PPVs and go the PLE route or whatever. Because according to Tony Khan, they recently did 200,000 buys or whatever for Allin. I know Jeff Lippman doesn't believe that because he's on his own theories, but going based off that, they're doing pretty well as far as these pay-per-views is concerned. And that's what I mean about the world of wrestling, the culture of wrestling right now being hot. I can't remember, other than Crown Jewel, how too many bad pay-per-views this year. All right, there's been some lacklusters, but the pay-per-views for the most parts have been awesome this year. The matches this year have been awesome. And what did we see last night? Speaking of awesome matches and free agencies, Will Ospreay is the signee for AEW, which I think we all knew was going to happen. And later on in the week, we understood that it was going to be Will Ospreay. Some were speculating Mercedes Moné. That was the only two options. It was either her or him. I couldn't see anybody else. I don't think he was going to make a big deal out of Mickie James, but knowing Tony Khan and his, everything is a huge announcement. At least this one pays off because it was Will Ospreay. And I was telling Billy Ray this off air when we was doing the group text. I'm like, yo, that right there is an attractive offer for anybody leaving New Japan. I get a call from Tony Khan that says, I can offer you $3 million, but you can also have the freedom to go wherever you want. Well, still $3 million. And I can still make some extra money elsewhere. So fuck it, I'll take this deal. And I think that's probably what swayed Ospreay's decision. He could still work New Japan. And from what I don't know how true this is because I only saw it on the thing. So take this with a very grain of salt. I saw it on the Impact fan page. So that's how this goes. That he has a deal where he can even go to Impact if he wants to work some dates. So it's just stuff like that in general. That's the reason why FTR resigned. They like the fact that they got to go to other promotions and do other work. And so my question is, with Vince being gone, and with the whole new regime running WWE, will we see WWE actually play well with others now? Because I don't think Triple H would be against. Of course, he wanted to be in WWE's favor, but I don't think Triple H would be against letting certain talent work other promotions. I just don't. I mean, I think that heavily he'll want them more for WWE.
It's a very interesting question that you ponder because I didn't think of it like this because again I've made another controversial statement on the Facebook groups, but not the PWHustle because I wanted to save it for this show because again the IWC debate, if you're E-Drone or AEW Mark Tart or whatever the case may be, when Vince McMahon was in play, when Vince McMahon was in power, when people left WWE to go to AEW, what was the first reasoning? Vince McMahon still head of booking. Vince McMahon's in charge. Vince McMahon is out of touch. Like you just said, Vince McMahon is out the picture, and Triple H actually respects what other people do. He respected Will Ospreay and his New Japan work. He respected Will Ospreay and his Rev Pro work and all that stuff. What can WWE offer? There is one thing that WWE can offer that AEW can't. You're right that AEW can offer that you can work Impact, you can work MLW, you can work New Japan and all that stuff. But there's one difference that I think this generation of wrestlers keep forgetting, and it begs the question, Track, for this generation's wrestlers. Do you just want to be a professional wrestler banking, or do you want to be a superstar where the WWE machine can actually there's an attempt to take you to the next level in the wrestling circle? In the wrestling circle, Cody Rhodes. In the wrestling circle, Roman Reigns, because what will they do? The machine will be behind you 110%, get you on all those talk shows, get you on the late night syndicates, get you at least deals in Hollywood if the case may be. Look at John Cena, the Peacemaker. Look at The Rock and where he went. It was because being behind the WWE machine, you got those kind of opportunities. But again,
which is exactly why I felt that's why Jade Cargill signed. She don't care about wrestling and other promotions or anything like that. She wants to be a superstar.
Right.
Ricky Starks wants to be a superstar. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe he wants to stay in AEW.
Nah, Ricky Starks wants Hollywood fame. You can see it in that dude's eyes. That dude he has bigger aspirations to be than more than to be a wrestler. And that's fine. And you're absolutely right. That's what the WWE can definitely offer you. And I really believe
it's just funny because now you can't debate that, because now I said, well, the controversial statement I said is, now are people like Will Ospreay afraid of taking the WWE deal because they know because they can't make it, or they can't hack that kind of commitment? Because again,
there's always going to be a ceiling. No matter who's running it, there's always going to be a ceiling in the WWE, and I don't see Will Ospreay going really like I could see him being WWE champ at some point, but I don't see him being on a level of a Cody, of a Seth, of a Roman, or anything like that.
I get
he might just be where AJ is.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, but you understand where I'm going with. You can't use the Vince excuse anymore. Triple H recognizes your history. Triple H respects what you're bringing, your resume, you could, if you will. But that's what I'm just saying. You're right. There could be a ceiling, but I'm just saying we can't use the Vince excuse like he's going to make Will Ospreay change his name to Billy Ocean. It doesn't work that way. It won't work that way now.
Billy Ocean.
I'm just saying.
Carrying Queen. That was sharing the same, bruv.
Yo, he's got to stop that. That ain't gonna work for me. That doesn't work for me. That promo sucked. You gotta be serious. You gotta be real here.
That promo sucked. Bruv. I don't know why he's saying bruv, but and the thing is, he can't cut a promo. But it's funny because now that he's going to AEW, I made a post in other groups saying, so now that he signed to AEW, is Will Ospreay back to being that guy that nobody knows? Because the WWE bubble dwellers, they wanted Will Ospreay. The ones who knew Will Ospreay wanted Will Ospreay. And now you got people like they on the PWHustle TikTok looking at my Will Ospreay reaction saying who, like, yeah, nigga, you know exactly who that guy you wanted to go to WWE, that's who that is. So let's not kid ourselves, and the of course the tribalism out there, it exists and it's ridiculous, and I can't, I'm at the point where I've had it up to here with the fucking tribalism. I've had it up to here. And a lot of people will still constantly try to say, aren't you an AEW guy? And I'm like, okay, well, at least I know who watches our show and who doesn't, because nobody seems to understand that I made this declaration when AEW got started that everybody got a clean slate. Everybody got a clean slate. WWE, New Japan, AEW was new, and Impact, everybody got a clean slate. I didn't fucking be biased towards anyone. Right now, I have not too many bad things to say about what's going on in WWE, other than the fact that these long going feuds are too long. That's happening in all sides of wrestling, AEW and WWE. Some of these feuds just go on for weight. I am sick and tired of the Judgment Day, and I understand
It's storytelling, man. It's storytelling. We've been waiting for this. We've been clamoring for this.
I understand that Adam Cole is hurt, but now that means, and they're still going with the story. So this goes on even longer to see what the hell's going on. Who's the devil? Who's gonna turn on who? You know,
That's where they dropped the ball in that match, because at least you could have had the devil, or at least somebody in the devil's mask on the stage, at least give it that illusion. Who is the devil? Is the devil in play? And they didn't do that. They kept it a straight match where Super MJF. I'm sorry to interrupt. Because it segues me into this next segment, or to this next talking point, where we're talking about the devil. And yeah, again, it's one of these things that prolongs the story where I'm just like, like Roman Reigns in his title reign. Is he gonna surpass Hogan? Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a minute. But it's a storyline that is just gonna drag on for a while, because they're gonna keep going with it until Cole is healthy. And who is the devil going to be? Now, most likely, we both know it's probably no chance in hell it's CM Punk. But what if it was CM Punk? What if the whole thing was a ruse? What if, for all we know, they let us go on thinking that he really did go after Tony Khan. There is footage of the fight. Maybe none of that exists. Maybe none of that happened. Maybe there was a minor scuffle, but cooler heads prevailed. And somebody said, let's do something here. Because you know what I saw on the pay-per-view that I was like, I've been watching it for weeks. I'm like, is anybody noticing this shit? The Bucks being referred to as children. Jericho's calling them children. They had that hissy fit yesterday after losing. They're playing towards what CM Punk has said on the All Out scrum.
And I'm like, yo, I know I'm not the only. I can't be the only one who sees this shit. And either they're trolling that nigga hard, which again, fuck them if they're doing that. So
it's the same. Well, you got to go with the WWE, because Corey Graves has made CM Punk references. Shinsuke Nakamura has made CM Punk references on Raw.
When did Nakamura make a Punk reference? I saw that. I saw that people were saying that, but I missed that.
Something in Japanese with a Pepsi reference, and he was doing something along those lines.
Oh, okay.
He won a competition, then something with Pepsi. I know he said Pepsi.
Right.
And they were like, oh wait, that's CM Punk. That's a CM Punk reference.
The biggest speculation is, will CM Punk show up at Survivor Series? I was saying no, but right now I have no idea. I don't know what to think. I don't know.
Which is beautiful. Which is beautiful because it makes you intrigued.
He posts on his Instagram with him as the devil, and so people are like, wait a minute. And I'm like, oh, he's fucking with y'all. That's what that is. He's not giving hints to shit. He's just fucking with people. But then when they asked him about Survivor Series, he's like, are you going to be there? He goes, well, I don't know. Tickets are hard to get. As in, like, yeah, why the fuck? I'm not signing. I can't get tickets to, how can I be there? Tickets are hard or whatever. So he's not giving a yes or no answer. He's fucking with the people. And a lot of eyes next week will be on WWE, even if they have no plans. They've said it a million times. We have no plans for CM Punk, this, that, and the third. I've always said bullshit. And I've always said, but then I said to myself, CM Punk's beef was really more with Triple H. I think him and Triple H were the ones that didn't get along. I think him and Vince got along better than him and Triple H.
No, it was more with Vince McMahon, but it was a different issue because number one was the stress that he was working hurt, but two, he blamed Vince McMahon because again, he never got the Mania main event spot. He thought him and Undertaker should have been a Mania event spot. He actually thought that when he was the champion, they were going to build towards him against The Rock or something like that. But he felt disenchanted that he never got the main event spot. And what year was he the champion? It was like 2011 or 12. Like his Mania championship match was on the mid level. It was the midway against Jericho.
Yeah.
He was the champ. He was the champ, and he was like, "You're insulting me. I have the prestigious." He wasn't the world heavyweight champion, Hustleites. He was the WWE champion, and they booked him in the midway match, and he wasn't the main event. So he did felt a little bit disenchanted and disrespected in his own right, for that kind of thing. So it hurt him. The ego got hurt there, and rightfully so. And then, of course, the stories about getting fired on your wedding day and all that stuff.
Okay, so it's possible that he could return, and I guess we'll have to wait to see what happens next week. I will have my phone glued to my TV, waiting to hear that fucking music, and I will fucking go berserk if he comes out. I'm gonna laugh, and I'll be like, "Yo, AEW really fucked up here. You let that man go back. Not that they won't survive without Punk. They've survived without him. They survived before him. They'll survive after him. And so before we get out of here. Roman Reigns' title reign is upon that day where he's gonna beat Hulk Hogan. All right.
You have the receipts. You have the receipts because I said this here when it was like year 2, and you laughed. You had the track laugh on me when I said he's gonna beat Hogan's record.
I'm gonna go on and say this, okay? Yes, it's fuck Hogan all day. This is not my blackness talking. This is the wrestling fan talking. Roman Reigns should not be beating Hulk Hogan's record. Okay? And here's why. Here's why I feel he shouldn't. Roman Reigns is nowhere near a draw as Hulk Hogan. So he shouldn't be breaking his record. He's nowhere near the draw of Pedro Morales. So he shouldn't have beaten his record either. My whole thing is they do certain things. They'll have you beat people's record out of spite. Like CM Punk shit, I knew he was going to surpass that. I knew it because it's CM Punk. He was gone, and he was headed toward AEW or whatever. He was just gone. But I knew they were going to have him surpass that. Fine. And I'm like, nah, not Pedro Morales. Where the fuck did they get off having him surpass Pedro Morales? Was he drawn in the dollars that Pedro was? But they haven't passed it. And I'm like, no, this is not good. And I don't want to hear about merch sales. Fuck all that. All right? Ticket sales by the over of inflation, the years of all of that economic crap. We all know how that works. But he's not drawing like Hogan. He's not drawing like Morales. He's not drawing like Bruno Sammartino. He should have never. He shouldn't. Well, we know he's not beating Bruno. Nobody's beating Bruno. That's never happening. But
we're so close. We're so close. You can smell it. He shouldn't beat
Hogan's record. He really shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? All I smell is your bullshit.
I'll say this because there's one thing. There's one thing because the metrics of what you're saying, the metrics between Pedro, the metrics between Bruno, the metrics between Hulk Hogan, it's night and day in terms of what sells. Because again, those three were responsible for putting asses in seats with house shows. There was no streaming. There was no the cable premium isn't the way it is in 2023. There's a whole different the merch sales. Of course you could always overinflate the merch sales because again that's your number one draw. Hogan was the number one draw, and Bruno, if Bruno had a shirt, he'd be the number one draw. That would have sold out for 8 years straight. And Pedro was a draw too. So they will cater to your number one guy no matter what, but the metrics is different. House show defenses that Bruno and Hogan and Pedro were responsible for is way different than Roman, not being on TV. But when he's there, he makes the title feel big fight feel. When he's there, there's an aura. You can see that on a SmackDown. It's different. Roman Reigns is on a different metric than those three guys. Should he be Hogan? For my pettiness, for my being right, that I said this a year and a half ago on the PWHustle Networks? Yes, I want him to be Hogan for that purpose because I said it and y'all laughed at me. Will he surpass? No, because I think WrestleMania, we see that Cody will finally get his just due. I think that's still one of those kind of underlying factors.
How long until he would be Hogan?
Next August.
Oh, so it would have to run through. Oh, okay. He's not being Hogan.
He would have to surpass it past August 2024.
Because we know if it goes to WrestleMania, he's dropping it to Cody. Okay, listen. I'm saying this shit right now. If he beats Cody again, I am not watching WWE until that title is off Roman Reigns. I am not fucking around. I swear this on the soul of my Grammy. I will never watch WWE again until that title is off him. If they keep, I know that's not happening. It scares me, but I know that's not happening. But Q, yo, I love talking wrestling, bro. You heard my declaration. It better not happen. We got to get out of here. Let them know where to find you.
You can find me on my Twitter or Xer at PWHustle, PROF. That's PWHustle Prof. And you can find me on the Hami Media Group, where I host the most nostalgic podcast out there, the PWR, the Pro Wrestling Reflection Podcast, with myself and the Tommy Wonder. And we dropped an episode on it, so check it out, where we did a spotlight, the celebrity edition. We talked about Mr. T. We talked about Andy Kaufman. We talked about Mike Tyson. We talked about Dennis Rodman. We talked about Karl Malone. It's a very fun episode where we pay homage to the celebrities that have, given back to the wrestling community.
Yes, and don't forget the PWR What If episodes. I know you guys love those, and those guys will be hitting you with those soon. Don't forget, I have to remind Prof that we have a TikTok, so he can continue to do his professor's perspectives.
Yeah,
so
I gotta
don't
get
worry.
back.
I'm gonna get on him for that. He'll get for those TikTok viewers who may have liked those and want to see more. He'll get that. And you can find me here on the PW Hustle, on PW Hustle TikTok. You can find me floating around in our Facebook group, the Hustle Fandom. You can find me on Twitter at A-Track Brown, the number 8, TRAC Brown. All right, because I am doing these reactions. I'm reacting to Invincible. 2 more episodes to go of Fear the Walking Dead. I'll be here for those as well. Thank you guys so much for being here with us. Hopefully next time it'll be the full crew. It'll be a live show. Shout outs to Tommy Wonder. Shout outs to Striz. Shout outs to Bello. Shout outs to Big Ray. Shout outs to Billy Ray Valentine. Shout outs to all the Hustleites. Michael Davis. Shout outs to you, my brother. Malik X. Shout outs to you, Cordell Mitchell. Shout outs to you, Jamal Snow. Shout outs to you, Michael Wright. Shout outs to you, Derek McDonald. Shout outs to you, Chauncey. Shout outs to you, Tamara Davis. Shout outs to you, all my Hustleites. All the people who watch the reactions, shout out to all y'all. And we will be here, no matter if we can get the crew here or not. We will be here because the professor has to hand out his yearly awards, okay? And we got to tell y'all our matches of the year, our wrestlers of the year, our gimmicks of the year, all that shit of the year. We're going to be here. You know what? It's going to be the fandom year. We're not just going to talk wrestling. We're going to talk movie of the year, show of the year, best episode of the year, best everything of the year, especially the greatest album of all time, Andre 3000. All right, we see y'all later. Don't be cowards. Go out there and smoke crack like Viper said, all right?
If you want to keep a TV deal, don't do it.
Yeah, just don't do it on air, all right? Y'all cowards won't even smoke crack.